We read the Shabbos Parshas Shkolim as the maftir, special maftir that Chazal put in place, talking about the mitzvah of giving the machatzis shekel. It's a fascinating Gemara in Menachos on Daf Chav Tes. The Gemara says, Tana de Bei Rabbi Yishmael, they taught in the base medrash of Rabbi Yishmael, Shlosha Dvarim, three things how you kashan the Moshe Rabbeinu were hard for Moshe. Ad sheher lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu be'etzbo, until Hashem had to actually point out to him how they should be done. Eluhein, these are the menorah, Rosh Chodesh, and Shratzim. How to build a menorah, a seven-pronged menorah made out of one solid piece of gold. How to see how the moon should be when Rosh Chodesh is coming. And the Shratzim, which particular of the creepy crawly things are tamei. Moshe couldn't figure it out, so Hashem showed him. But Rashi comments at the beginning of Kisisa in Parshas Shkolim, Zeyid to know about the shekel, that Moshe Rabbeinu had trouble understanding what the half shekel was about. So Hashem had to take a fiery shekel out from under the Kisei HaKavod and show it to Moshe Rabbeinu. Why couldn't Moshe figure out what a half shekel was? And furthermore, if it was so difficult, why doesn't the Gemara tell us that there were four things that Moshe Rabbeinu had trouble with until Hashem showed him? Tosfos, in fact, asks this question, and Tosfos answers very ambiguously that without seeing the coin, Moshe would have had no idea whatsoever what the coin was about, and therefore the language of niskasha, that it was difficult, doesn't quite fit in. Why not? Sounds like a difficulty. What's Tosfos trying to tell us? So the Shita Mekubetzes explains that what Tosfos is saying is as follows. The Medrash tells us that what was bothering Moshe Rabbeinu was not the construction, was not how the surah, the way it should look, but it was the concept. It says that it's kofer nafsho, that the machatzis shekel was brought to atone for the chet ha'egel. How could this little minuscule half coin atone for such a terrible chet? How could it accomplish so much? That's what he didn't understand. And that's why Hashem had to show him a coin. It wasn't an instruction or a prototype of how to make it, but to show him that, yes, this fiery coin can accomplish so much. Even though it's so small, it can bring about kapara. It can bring about atonement. What lesson was Hashem teaching Moshe? I think it's to never overlook the little things. And in particular, the little things that somebody does for somebody else. The machatzis shekel is both small and incomplete. Nobody's allowed to give more. There's no full shekel without somebody else's. When you join together your small thing with somebody else's, that becomes a complete unit. And then atonement and great things can be achieved. And I think with this we can understand a very cryptic Gemara in Maseches Megillah. Amar Reish Lakish says, Goloi v'yadul ifdimisha Amar v'yolam. It was revealed in front of Hashem, she'asid Haman lishkol shkalim al Yisrael, that Haman would take out shkalim, money, against Bnei Yisrael to pay Achashverosh for the right to destroy the Jewish people. And lefichach hiktim shiklein lishkolav. So he made sure that the shekel of Bnei Yisrael would precede the shekel of Haman. V'hainu disnan, and that's what we learn in the Mishnah. Be'echad ba'adar mashmin al shkalim. That comes Rosh Chodesh Adar, the Shabbos Rosh Chodesh Adar. We announce about the shkalim. What do the two things have to do with each other? What does our shekel used for the korbanos of the tzibur have to do with the shekel of Haman? And I think the answer is that the strength of Haman's coins, when he wanted to destroy Achashverosh, was because he told him that they're an am mifuzar mifurad ben amim. They're dispersed throughout the land. And to Haman, that was scary, because who knows which groups are going to come together and there'll be a coup and there'll be an uprising. So we have to get rid of them. But what Haman didn't realize that was for the Jewish people, it's an even scarier prospect. That when there's a lack of achdus, Bnei Yisrael are susceptible because they're not together. So Hashem says, I have a solution in place. Our half a shekel creates and turns us into a tzibur. The money used for the korbanos at tzibur can overcome us being an am mifuzar mifurad ben amim. The lesson of the machatzis shekel is to never ignore the little things. Doing the big things in public that might solve a problem and get a lot of fanfare are nice, but it's the little things that we could do for somebody else that could sometimes be equally, if not even more effective. And that, I think, is the lesson as we begin to prepare for Purim. That Purim is about creating achdus, as bringing together and seeing what can we do for other people. What small things, how can I help somebody else? Not in a way that makes me feel good, necessarily, but in a way that will help them. And when our minds are focused on other people, when we realize that our shekel, our half a shekel is incomplete until you put it together with somebody else's half. Then we become a different people. Then we come together, and our shkalim are going to be more powerful than the shkalim of Haman. And we'll once again merit La Yehuda Ma'Sa'ora V'Simcha V'Sosem Yikor. The Jews will have days like they had, they will have joy like and light like they had then. Came to Yalanu, B'Imhera V'Yameinu, Amen.